Hey, everybody, this is Renae Lipsmeyer from The Space Between, and you're listening to The Space Between podcast, the show that lets you listen to how the fans feel about the music, the art behind 31 years of the Dave Matthews Band. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Space Between. I am welcoming 5 guests with me today to help me with this topic that I like to call DMB forever. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, we like to think that marriage is permanent, and at least until we die, right? That's what I always say. You're married until you die, whether that's sooner or later, you're married to me. And with marriage comes baggage. And baggage can sometimes be in the form of a band. And so I like to think that people that are married fans or fanatics of the Dave Matthews Band really are just special, patient people who just love who they love, no matter what kind of crazy things they do. So I'm going to let Andy introduce his wife. Then I have Cameron, who's going to introduce his wife. And then I'm going to introduce my husband, and we'll get started on DMB forever.
Hi, Renee. Thanks again for having me. I am here joined today with my lovely wife, Jackie.
Hi.
Hi, Jackie. We're so glad that you decided to participate.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And who do you have here?
Hello, DMB world. And I'm here with my wife, Stacy.
Hello.
Hi, Stacy. So I want to know, how did your husband, and then I'll introduce my husband, how did your husband's attempt to even ask you to do this podcast? Like, what were their words? Like, hey, what did they say to you? Like, I want you to do this.
I'll go ahead and start. He just said that one night there was going to be a spouse's night for the podcast. And so here we are.
Here we are. You're like, I don't know what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
Andy, did you kind of tell the same thing to Jackie? Were you like?
No, he came to me all sheepishly and said, hey, you probably don't want to do this, but Renae asked if you would like to join the podcast. It's about, spouses with fanatic husbands, wives, and yeah. And I was like,
and here
yes,
you are.
I'm doing this.
Well, thank you for signing up for a little bit of crazy, which is exactly what spouses of DMB fanatics get 365 days a year, is crazy. So let's start out this episode with asking, what is it like being married to a Dave Matthews Band fanatic? And I say that because our crowd, our group, our fans of the Dave Matthews Band, it's truly a fanatic. And I say that over and over because that's how my husband describes anything regarding Arkansas baseball, which is his Dave Matthews Band. He says he's a fanatic about baseball. So now I like to use that word because it just sounds a little stronger than just a plain Jane fan, right?
Yep.
So what is it like? And I want to hear, Jackie, Stacy, what is, what I want to do first? I'm going to introduce my husband.
I was wondering when you were going to do
But
that.
definitely not least,
You know what you're doing.
Justin Lipsmeyer. And
Good evening, Dave Matthews fan world.
we, I think I literally maybe just told him for the first time about 10 minutes ago that he was going to do this. So I didn't really give him a lot of room to say no.
No, that's not true. You actually mentioned this as something you wanted to do as an episode.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, it was probably a couple of weeks ago, I think, when she had the idea. And of course, I was all for it. I originally told her I would not be on the podcast, but I knew that was a lie. So I just wanted to give her a hard time and make her sweat just a little bit.
He did. I was like, he said no. He's actually never going to be on the podcast. And this dude that I talk about 24/7, does he exist? He does. He's here in the flesh. And so thank you.
I am not a paid actor.
Okay, so what's it like? Jackie, I'm going to let you start this because I know you're the most excited about being interviewed. What is it like being married to a Dave Matthews Band fanatic?
So sometimes I'm okay with it. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, we can listen to Dave in the car. It's better than Bruce Springsteen. I'm sure I'll get shot for that later. But I mean, my house, like our art decor on the wall are all Dave Matthews posters. And it can be extremely obnoxious. And, Andy, he's going to the Texas shows. It's not, can I go to the Texas shows? It's, I'm going to the Texas shows. Oh, okay. And so at times it can be a little obnoxious, but I do like Dave Matthews. I like some of their music, but being married to a fanatic can be kind of rough at times.
Jackie, I think we're going to get along great. We have a lot of similar thought processes here.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you were like, our decor is all Dave Matthews Band. I'm like, I'm sneaking it in one wall at a time, and this house will be.
That's not entirely true. There's some in the kitchen and then some in her Dave room, as she likes to say.
And in the living room and in the bedroom.
No,
there's a little bit in the
Do not give them an idea about a Dave room. Don't even.
Yes.
No, do not.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. And you can call it what you want. Mine started out as the space between, and it's not that anymore because that was so much words. And now everyone just calls it the Dave room, which I love to have that.
I thought we all had Dave rooms. I have a Dave room.
Oh, no.
Yes. Tell me about your Dave room.
Andy, I'm just saying, you should get a Dave room.
I need
Come
one.
on. Andy, you're the only one in this group that doesn't have a fan room. So get your fan room ready.
I'll probably be in the bathroom.
The bathroom.
Hey, whatever space you can take, man, take it.
Isn't the bathroom literally the space between? Maybe that's it for you. It's just the space between. Stacy, tell me what it's like to be married to a fanatic.
Always getting tested on what song it is, and the history of how the band started and who's in the band. And sometimes I'm just like, okay, how many times do we have to listen to this album again?
1,000,000 times.
Yes. And then yes, all the concerts, now our oldest daughter goes. She's taken my place. So I've gotten a little break in that, but I'm like, how many times do we need to see them in concert?
As many as possible.
Exactly. And I know waiting in line at times with people, they're like, this is our however many show we've seen. And I'm like, wow.
What do you say back? Do you talk or are you just like, cool?
Yeah, no, I'm just like, that's awesome. That you travel all over and follow them.
Do what makes you happy.
Exactly.
And what's it like being married to a fanatic?
Well, for the most part, I actually enjoy your passion about it. I don't always necessarily want to hear everything about it all the time, but I'm a runner. So I'm listening to music while I run all the time, and getting to know the Dave Matthews Band has actually pushed me to getting to know other bands. Kind of more of the funk blues type, like Lettuce. I'm a big fan of Lettuce. I love running to beats. I don't necessarily love running to lyrics as much, but you give me some good background beat music to go to. You got some horns in there with the bass beat and just anything to do with the background music in general. It's good for my feet hitting it with a rhythm or whatever. I don't know. It just makes sense to me. But back to your original question, I guess that, I don't know. It can be a little overbearing at times, but you don't really push it on me. So
I don't have any desire to push it on you.
She'll play stuff, and I'm interested to hear her guess where a live song was played when it comes on the radio or comes on XM, and she's not looking at it. She pretty much gets it 90% of the time. So she's doing a good job, I guess.
32.
She has a PhD in DMB.
Hey, the only degree I want. I just needed to hang it on the wall, and that would complete my space between, right? When did I want to know, Stacy, Jackie, was DMB, Dave Matthews Band, was that, and Justin, was that something that you knew about before? And I don't know how long you've been married, so you can go into that, but was that something you knew about before your marriage, or was it something that really started when the marriage started, or when the relationship started?
No, I mean, I'd heard the Dave Matthews Band before, the more obviously the popular songs that were on the radio. But yeah, that's the basics of what I knew.
That's as far as it went. You knew who they were, you'd heard of them. But as far as naming a song, or maybe even other than Dave Matthews, because his name is in the band, but naming other band members, not there. Okay. That's cool. And that's fair. Mm-hmm. How would you say that you rank now? Can you name all of the band members now?
Hello, everybody. This is Dave Rich from the Eddie Casino Band out in Las Vegas. We're really excited to get this journey going, celebrating our music, our original music, on all platforms. We just released our first single over Labor Day weekend called Eddie Casino. If you're looking for new music, look out for our next single coming out to Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Apple Music. These guys in the band are really excited to get started playing music for you all. If you like Tom Petty, Zach Brown, Jason Mraz, Dave Matthews Band, Rob Thomas, Jimmy Buffett, Pink Floyd, Stapleton, Bare Naked Ladies, Goose, Billy Strings, Sting and the Police, a ton of influences that we bring to the table. Hope you enjoy our music and look forward to seeing you soon live on stage.
It's okay to say no.
I probably
Who plays the drums?
Carter.
Yeah. Perfect. You got a 100. You got a quiz you didn't even know was coming. Jackie, had you heard of Dave Matthews Band before Andy, or was Andy your gateway into the Dave Matthews Band?
Pretty much same answer. I just knew about their more popular songs on the radio. That was pretty much it.
Yeah. And then Justin, had you heard? I know your story, but like share with them, who in the world is the Dave Matthews Band? Before you met Renae, who was that?
Well, it was the guy that sang Crash. I mean, that was the song, that put him on the map, I guess, in my mind. That's the one I remember. I know, Ants was out there probably before that, maybe. I don't remember. I couldn't tell you what came first, but I actually always put Dave Matthews and the lead singer of REM as like brothers. I really thought they were brothers for a while. It's like they look a lot alike to me. Looking at their videos, obviously Dave had more hair, but so I would get them confused. Back in the 90s, I couldn't remember who was who, but that's about all I knew of the Dave Matthews Band. I had heard of them and knew of their few songs, but could not tell you anything. 99% of what I know about them today is because of her. So,
well, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so let's say that our spouses were on a scale of 0. Well, you know what? Let's give them a point. They were on the scale of 1 because they'd heard of the Dave Matthews Band. That's where they were when you got involved with them. You were a 1. Okay, where are they on the scale now? If 10 is the most, like none of us are 10s. What would you say that you are now in your confidence in being able to talk about Dave Matthews Band just in general?
I'd say I'm a 5.
Okay.
I'm kind of right in the middle. I could hang with a conversation about several topics. I would know some names of the songs. I could remember some of the songs themselves. I could probably sing a couple of lyrics out of each several songs. You start going into history and like chronological order, I'm out. I don't know when they did what or where or who or why. So
that's okay. And now you know.
But I know all the band members' names. So
good. Let's hear it.
Well, you got Dave, you got Tim, you got Stefan, you got Carter, you got Buddy, who's my favorite actually. Then you've got on the horns, you've got Jeff, and then you've got Ross. That's his last name. Golly, it's right there.
Right there.
His last name's Ross.
Well, wait. Da, 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 da.
Now I'm under the gun.
No.
Oh,
I wish it was Dave Matthews Band Jeopardy.
I don't do well under pressure, I guess.
Well, it's Rashawn.
Rashawn.
I know. Oh my goodness. Okay, so do you, and I'm going to start with Jackie again. Jackie, do you like, or do you, like when Andy says, hey, I'm going to go to Texas or wherever he says he's going to go, are you like for a minute, let me check my schedule to see if I can go with you? Or is it a like, bye kind of thing? Like, bye, see you when you get back.
I've gone to the shows with him before, and I went to the Gorge with him one year, several years ago, and I had a blast. I like the Dave Matthews community, the people. They're all really sweet, nice, caring people. I did enjoy the music, but I really enjoyed just the company of the people when I went.
I agree. I agree. I think that's what holds a lot of fans too. It's just, and that's what makes it contagious. It's just the people. The people are wonderful. Stacy, do you like, you said you'd been to a couple of shows. Do you like going to the shows, and do you have interest in going to more shows?
Yes, I like going to the shows, and I will end up going to more.
Yeah. Wait, are they coming to Colorado? Colorado was not on the schedule for this year, was it?
This year, no.
I literally just thought of that.
Not yet.
How disappointing is that for you?
It could be on the fall.
But no, I think it was it last year? So our daughter, like, she starts going now to both nights.
That's awesome.
She is both nights now. So I may have to wait a few years to get my turn to go back into going. But
I bet you where there's a will, there's a way.
That's right. That's right. Okay. So hot button here. And I don't know who to pick first. Okay. Then Justin, because it's easier to pick on my own husband, right? Can you name 10 Dave Matthews Band songs in any order?
Oh, yeah. I think I could.
Let's go. Someone count for me, and I'm going to pay attention.
Here on Out, Samurai Cop, which is one of my favorite, along with Here on Out, which is another one of my favorites. I'm going to try to stay away from the hits. Rapunzel, Granny, Walk on the Moon, that's the new one. Madman's Eyes is a new one. Warehouse, Watchtower. I don't know where I'm at. Where am I at?
9, right? 9.
Am I at 9?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I think.
Let's see.
Let's talk about the numbered songs.
Well, I mean, there's 41, there's 7, 36, I think. That's the only 3 I can
7. How would you write that down on a piece of paper?
How they write it down, or how would I write it down?
How did they write it down?
They spelled it out.
Spell it out. That's right. It's like a trivia question. How would you write that down? So, do you think you could name some songs if asked, and would they be the same as what Justin just said?
A couple of mine would have been.
Yeah. What is your favorite? Like, you just have to throw one out there and be like, you know what? I don't love the Dave Matthews Band, but every time I hear this song, I get like, I feel something. Like, is there any song like that for you at all?
I like Gray Street and She.
Yes, those are great ones. You need to listen to Break Free. I think that it's such a song of empowerment, especially like I look at it as a song of women empowerment. Like, listen to it slowly, digest the words, and you will be a fan of that song. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Stacy, what about you? Like, can you name songs? And if you could, what's on your list?
Well, my favorite song is Idea of You. But I don't think I could name 10 songs because I'm terrible with song names.
You're just giving Cameron, like, he knows what to do now to push you forward. He's like, got homework now. He's like, okay, we're going to start putting those flashcards up at work. And like, you're going to every night while you're brushing your teeth, they'll be like, okay, walk around the bin. Got that one. Okay, let's move on. Every night it's a different one. It's Valentine's Day. That's the best gift, is the gift of Dave, right? Okay, so here's one more question, and then I'm going to let you talk about a few other things. Can your spouse name your favorite album? Now, you have to know what your favorite album is first. So, Cameron, Andy, is that something that you know your favorite album is this?
Oh, yeah. We talked about it a couple of episodes ago.
We did. Cameron, so you're good. Okay, so wives and husbands, let's try to, if you can guess, what would be my favorite album out of, and I'm 31 years of music, and we'll go ahead and we'll include Some Devil into that, even though that's not Dave Matthews Band, that's Dave Matthews. We'll throw that in the mix too. What is my favorite?
Considering that I don't know the name of many albums, I can think of one off the top of my head, and that's the one I'm going to say is Dreaming Under the Table. Isn't that one? Or Under the Table Dreaming. I got the words right, the order wrong. I apologize.
Well, you're wrong, and that's okay, because that's a great album. But if you'll remember, it wasn't maybe too many episodes ago, I talked about what my favorite album was and why. Maybe you should listen to my podcast.
It's a 2018 album.
That's okay, baby.
Is that because of Here on Out?
It is. Well, so 2018 was the year that we met. I randomly like go, hey, babe, who I've known for like 2 weeks. Do you want to go see Dave Matthews Band? And he was like,
First, let me stop her. She did not say that. She said, "Hey, do you want to go to LA with me for a week?" And I'm thinking that would be a great trip. I've never been to Los Angeles. That'd be awesome. LA is Los Angeles in this conversation. Usually LA is Lower Arkansas, but that's for a different conversation.
Didn't want to take you there. Dave won't go there.
So I'm like, absolutely. And then she says, well, while we're there, there's a couple of concerts that I'd like to see. And of course, Dave Matthews was one of them.
Absolutely.
So it was great. That was my first concert with Dave Matthews. And I could not appreciate what I was seeing at that time like I could now. I would love to go back knowing what I know now over again live, because I think it would be mean a whole lot more to me now than it did then. That makes sense.
For sure. What were your thoughts? Like, can you think back and it's okay to be completely whatever, but honest. Did you walk away from that concert thinking, you know what, I like them a little bit more now? Or was it like, okay, they're still the same band I thought, and I don't know why she's into them so much?
The one thing that impressed me was when I heard them sing The Watchtower, because I had not heard that before. And all I remember, and you remember this, I stood up, I was like, hey, that's Led Zeppelin, was what I was thinking at first. I was like, that's a Led Zeppelin song. And not knowing the combo of The Watchtower, what they do with it and what has been done with it in the past. But that's what I remember specifically.
I remember that too. I always will, because it was like the one moment in the concert where he was like, oh, I know this, like the one moment. And it was towards the end, as Watchtower usually is. At the end, his ears peek up and I'm like, oh, I think I know this. And I'm like, that's not even Dave. That's not even Dave. I love that I remember that moment very well.
So you got to be careful, because Cameron doesn't like covers.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. I do remember hearing that on one of the podcasts.
Right. One of those things that we learned that I still can't believe. No covers?
You got to take it easy with them. I think this tour, one cover per show, and they all have to be different.
Yes. Well, you never know what will happen in 2023. So, Jackie, you have to name a favorite album. What do you think Andy's favorite album of all times would be? No pressure at all.
I don't know any of the names, so
you don't? That's okay.
I know.
That's okay. Andy, tell your wife right now, what's your favorite Dave Matthews Band album?
That is Dave Matthews. It's actually Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds.
Okay.
The Live at Luther College. Because that's the one that wrote me into the whole Dave Matthews Band.
So his favorite album is...
Yes.
There you go.
We got it.
Now you know.
Live at Luther College, which is a great concert. I encourage you just to sit down with your headphones and just listen to it one time all the way through. And if you hate it, don't ever listen to it. I'm sure you've listened to the whole thing. You married to Andy, of course you've listened to it.
Know that she has listened to it.
She has listened to that, and she's still not impressed at all. All right, Stacy, what is Cameron's favorite album? Any thoughts?
Live at Red Rocks.
Oh.
Is that true, Cameron?
Correct.
Oh.
You guys are gonna win for a couple of the night award. I got right. I think. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So tell me just briefly before we end, how long have you been married? And spouses, what is your favorite band? Because that's something I always really like to include is, yes, we love the Dave Matthews Band, but more than that, we love music and what music can help us do. And that can be so many other people besides the Dave Matthews Band. We all really enjoy music in general. So if I were to turn on your radio, Jackie, what would be on right now? What are you listening to?
Tool.
Cool. Okay. Cool. I like it. No, and that's Dave Matthews Band recommended. So you're on the path to Dave Matthews Band. It's coming. It's just slow, but speeding, right? Because you know what that's from, right?
Can I do you mind if I ask her a question? Because this is actually something I've never asked her.
Yes. We have a front row seat. I'm ready.
Did you have any idea what you were in for when I brought up to you Dave Matthews Band and that I like them a lot? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
It was kind of a slow process. I think you molded, you groomed me. It was really a slow process. He didn't start doing the tours or whatnot until I think 2011, like really going into the tours, going all the time and everything. I knew he liked the band a lot, but then he started doing the whole going to the shows. I have to have the posters, and I didn't understand, and I still don't understand, but it makes him happy. And there's worse things to be addicted to.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Fair.
So it was a slow process. It wasn't something that you just sprang up on me.
Now, how long have y'all been married?
Almost 12 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So there's plenty of time for you to still come on board, right?
We'll be 80 and I'll still be going, you just go.
Yeah, just go. Stacey, what are your thoughts? Like, when you got married to Cameron, was it something that you were aware of fully, or did you just go, okay, this is cool. It's like one of his side hobbies. This is what, I'm going to listen to. Or did you really get a grasp of what it was that he was telling you?
No, I think I got a grasp of it because we'd go on road trips. And so that I'd hear lots of Dave.
Yeah. That's where it all comes out.
And then I'd be like, come on, he'd be, what's this song? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, I just played it for you, 2 hours ago.
Yeah. Why were you taking notes? Good Lord.
Speed up to the wedding as we said our IDs. We're walking back out. The guy is playing Ain't Marching on the guitar.
Awesome.
Now, did he have to twist your arm for that? Or were you like, okay?
I surprised him with that.
Oh,
That's nice.
That's a true spouse. Right?
Awesome.
True supportive spouse.
Yeah, that's a great gift. Now, when you met me, I don't remember at what point. Do I instantly go, hey, I'm Renae and I love the Dave Matthews Band? Or like, how did I sneak that in?
I remember exactly when you told me.
Okay.
It was through text message. So,
Okay.
it's the modern age. We've been married 4 years. We've been together for almost, 2018. So it'll be 5 years in June. Anyways, so we, text a lot, obviously in that time frame. It's the new modern dating era, so to speak. So we would text a lot. And, one of the things you try to get to know about somebody when you're dating is, what are all their likes and stuff. So the topic of music came up. And I remember specifically, she wrote back when I said, hey, what kind of music do you listen to? And he said, well, that's kind of complicated. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? So I'm waiting to hear her answer. And she's texting back. I see little dots. And so eventually the text comes through and she's like, I'm into I like lots of different music, but I'm really into a band called the Dave Matthews Band. Have you ever heard of them? And I was like, yeah, I've heard of them. That's cool. Everybody's got their favorite bands. No big deal. And she's like, but I'm really, really into the Dave Matthews Band. I really love it. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome. I love Chris Cornell. He's probably my favorite artist, so I get it. Well, I didn't really get it at that time, but I get it now.
You get it now. He gets it too much. That's what he's like, please stop talking about it, please. And but has it hurt your relationship or has it made it better?
No, it's made it better. Of course it's made it better.
It has. I mean,
I very much enjoyed the experiences that we get to have.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like in a marriage, whether it's if you're good at tennis or golf or whatever it is that your hobbies are, more than likely you're not going to have the same hobby no matter what. I mean, because we're still very different people. Mm-hmm. He likes baseball.
That's her least favorite sport. I
care less if I see it again or not. But that is his Dave Matthews Band. So when it comes to Razorback baseball, I'm ready to go and be bored for however long the baseball game takes because that's his passion.
That's not entirely true. She's ready to go and be bored if it's in a suite and there's drinks and food.
I like free food.
If it's in the stands or in the outfield, have fun, honey. We'll see you when you get home.
Let a baseball game. And baseball games take forever. I mean, like forever to get through. So yeah, you got to be serving me free alcohol for me to enjoy it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think you want to be
supportive.
You want to be supportive of your spouse's, interests and stuff. I think that's super important.
So. I think that's it.
Absolutely.
And so, that's what this episode is all about, was just the comedy that kind of is underlying a marriage that can get through even the Dave Matthews Band, right? So thank you all for being on this week and talking about just comical side notes of the Dave Matthews Band. I think it's interesting to hear everyone's backstory. And, you know, our spouses are so much of this story. They're the ones that either do agree to let us go or hear that we are going, right? I know that as 2023 tour release dates released. And the question is always, I think he's a little nervous to ask, like, which ones are you requesting? And I'm like, all of them. And he's like, let's talk about a budget. Matthew's Band, like my head is just gone. I'm up in the clouds. And so I'm like, I need to go to every single one. And that's not going to happen because I think there's like 40, whatever.
Have you narrowed down the ones you want to go to?
I'm still working on that because really it all kind of leans on like, how much money do I have at that current moment, right? Like more money in August and then can go to wherever. He's looking at me like, no, make a list and stick with it.
She always jokes around that I'm her financial advisor, but I hold her to that joke every time. So I can't just let her go and spinning willy nilly now.
No, it's not. It's actually, so it's a job.
I support her healthy habit at certain times. And other times I have to restrain her just a little bit, you know, maybe skip a couple of shows and then try to look at one maybe next month or something like that.
I think that's totally doable. Next month.
We'll see.
Next month.
Even if you make lists, doesn't mean it's going to happen. I mean, I'll make a list and some of the best shows are the ones you kind of plan that pop up 48 hours before the show. And then somehow you make it work, and that wasn't on the list.
Right.
There's
right.
Just shows where I'm playing in 48 hours, and I'm in the town in the city where they're playing for less than 24 hours. I fly in that morning, and I leave the next morning, and wham, bam, thank you, man. What a great show that was.
Damn. So is it worth it every time?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, then that's really all it's about, right? So last question. Are you spouses looking to go anywhere for 2023? Even just one show? Are you going to see the Dave Matthews Band this year?
I mean, I think ours is, we haven't gone to the Gorge, and I know that's on the bucket list for Cam. So,
oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Why do I feel like that's such sarcasm coming through?
No. I had a really great time when we went.
The only show she's been to.
No, I went to the Dallas one and I was like, can we please go? Can we please go?
Oh, that was married. That's right. That was within our first year of marriage. She went and she was like, yeah, no, this is not happening. And I thought, I got to figure out how to do this because I'm married to this woman and she doesn't like these shows. So I don't know what I'm going to do.
It all worked out, though. It all worked out. Well, guys, thank you so much for being part of this episode. It was so good to finally see the other half of the fans that we have here on this podcast.